Hey there everyone, and welcome to Bill's Retro Gaming Show. On today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the latest pinball machine announced by Spooky Pinball. This one is based on the classic horror franchise, The Evil Dead. And after checking this one out, all I can say is...
groovy.
Alright everyone, as always, thank you so much for tuning in and checking out this video. Of course, if this happens to be your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscription button. Click the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I put up a new video. Give this one a thumbs up and leave a comment below if you want to be part of the conversation. So let's go ahead and check out this. This is again the latest announcement from Spooky Pinball based on Evil Dead. So to start off with, of course, huge shout outs to the website Knapp Arcade for putting out this information. Yesterday, they had a teaser trailer up from Spooky with the announcement of this Evil Dead pinball machine. And now today, they've got even more news, including a full-on video from Spooky talking about all the features, all the work that they did on this, what people can expect from this machine, and pictures, all kinds of cool stuff. So we're going to go through some of that right now. So to start out, let's read what Spooky Pinball themselves have to say about this new machine. Now it says here, the Evil Dead Pinball is a wide-body pinball machine set in the world of the first two films of the iconic franchise, The Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn. The players will be guided along by Ashley Williams, voiced by Bruce Campbell, as they battle the relentless forces of evil. Ash's now evil girlfriend Linda, voiced by Laura Sluter, and Professor Noby, voiced by Scott Innes, will provide an additional level of dead-eye trickery and direction to the game. Evil Dead Pinball is our most ambitious game to date, featuring the highest number of mechs in a Spooky Pinball machine yet. The game also features original clips, speech, and sound effects from both films. Evil Dead Pinball is the fourth game by the designer duo Spooky Luke and Corwin Bug Emery. Many other Spooky crew members have returned for this release, including Ben Heck on the code, Matt Montgomery providing the score, Back Alley Creations on the sculpts. This is also the first in a series of many Spooky Pinball games featuring a full art package by Christopher Franchi. It's time to officially join us in what we can confidently say is our most beautiful, most loaded, most impressive world under glass yet. Now, along with this announcement, Spooky Pinball have released a laundry list of different features and information regarding this new machine. First off, letting us know that it is going to be limited to 888 units. That's how many they plan on making. Now, along with that, you have all kinds of different features that you can see here. A stepper-driven Evil Ash hand. You've got pop-up bash toys of Evil Scotty and Evil Ed. You've got Linda's head on here that rotates from good to evil and back and forth. They've got a tape deck that actually looks like it's playing and has recordings of Professor Noby's voice on it. You've got RBG lights all over the place on here. You've got on the main playfield, there's a lower playfield that lights up. There's actually lights in the speakers. All kinds of lights everywhere. You've got a cabin. You've got a toy of the cabin with a multi-ball lock with a swinging motorized porch on it. And I'll show you some pictures and different stuff as we go through this a little bit more. You've got a double-barrel boomstick shotgun that you can hit, including a double-barreled multi-ball launcher. You've got a cellar door that rises with Evil Cheryl down in there as a bash toy. You can bash that, or you can actually hit the ball into the trapdoor and then get down into the lower playfield. You've got different ramps and things in this, and just too much information to go through all of it here, but I will show you some of the pictures so you can see some of this for yourself. So here is a look at the launch trailer that was released yesterday, giving you some look at the pinball machine. God, I love that topper. I'll get into more about that in just a few minutes, but you can see a look at the playfield. You've got the ramps. You can see the cabin in the back. You can actually pick your play mode, whether you're playing Evil Dead or Evil Dead 2, and there are different quests and different options that go on as you're playing, depending on which game you're playing. Obviously, there's going to be video footage on the DMD in the back glass. You can see here that double-barreled shotgun where you can launch two balls at once as a form of multi-ball. Love that. And then there's additional multi-ball features as well. In the cabin, there's a porch that swings back and forth. You can lock up to, I think, up to 3 balls there, and then the porch swing moves out of the way to drop the multi-ball. God, you gotta love all the call outs in this. One of the really cool things about this is that they actually got Bruce Campbell to come in and record additional voice just for this game. It's not just rehashing voice clips from the movies. He actually came in, he recorded all new dialogue to go along with the play on this. Here you can see that cellar door popping up like that, different ramps and stuff. Just really, really cool looking. I gotta tell you, this looks like a really fun pinball game, especially if you're a fan of Evil Dead. You see it dropped into the trapdoor there and then down into the basement. Because if you're gonna have a game based on Evil Dead, gotta have a basement, right? So there again, bash toys right there. So just really cool stuff altogether. All right, so here is a closer look at the machine itself. You can see all of the artwork on here. Really, they tried to be as true to the Evil Dead franchise as possible while still giving it kind of a pinball aesthetic and whatever, not just going for just photo clips from the movies, but having this artist, this Christopher Franchi, come in and do almost like a graphic novel. Like if Evil Dead was a graphic novel, this is what it would look like, kind of a feel. I feel like a lot of pinball machines lately have had this kind of look to it, but still it fits in really well with the Evil Dead theme. And here's a look at the artwork from the other side. And this is a full-on look at the playfield itself. Of course, you can see all the features listed on the side here, some of which I went over before. Again, I will have a link in the description to Knapp Arcade's article, so you can check this out. You can check out all of the features for yourself. Just way too much to go through in a video like this, but I did want to highlight certain things. Again, you can see down here, you've got two main flippers, and then there is another flipper right here, like right where the ball drops off of this ramp. I think they were calling it like a sling flipper or something like that. As the ball comes down this ramp, it kind of stops here. You can kind of catch it with the flipper and then pop it in another direction. Mostly used, I think, for trying to get the hand that's over here. You got Ash's disembodied hand that roams back and forth here. And it's not just, from what I understand, from what they were saying, it doesn't just go back and forth, back and forth. There is actually some code behind it, so it kind of moves randomly along this track, making it a little harder, more challenging for you to hit and things like that. You've got this tape player right here, and that's not just a sticker. These reels actually move and play during the game, and that's when you will hear Professor Knoll's voice play out. You've got the cabin in the back here. You can, I don't know how hard it's going to be in this video to make it out, but there is a little porch swing right here in front of the cabin. And as the balls come up, you can lock a couple of multi-balls. I think you can lock up to like 3 balls up here, and then the porch swing will swing out of the way and the balls will drop down for your multi-ball. You can see here the 2-lane shooter here. So at certain times, I guess when you hit the little boomstick bash toy up here, that's going to unlock a multi-ball feature where 2 balls can drop into here, and then you can fire both at once. So it's not just one multi-ball feature within this game. There's actually 2 different ones that you can play throughout. You've got all these different little toys that pop up here. You've got the cellar door here that will bring you down into this lower playfield. Again, this basement playfield here. All kinds of ramps, all kinds of stuff. It just looks like a lot to do in this game. And then, of course, having Bruce Campbell come in and record the shout-outs, I think, was key. If you can't get Bruce Campbell to come in and record for an Evil Dead game, like, there's no point. There's no point. You can't get somebody who sounds like Bruce Campbell. You gotta have Bruce Campbell. Now, just to highlight a few of the features of the playfield, there's a ton of pictures on here. I just want to point out a couple of the ones that I think are really cool, starting with this. This is that tape recorder right there. Like I said, these reels will actually turn as the voice plays during different times of the game. And one of the things that they said that was really interesting is that sometimes there will be shout outs from some of the evil characters in the game, letting you know things like perhaps saying that the ball save is on, and the ball save will even light up, but it's not really on. It will actually, if your ball drops, it will drain the ball, and you'll lose a ball even though the thing says ball saves on. So at different times in this game, some of the evil characters may give you shout outs, and you might think that it's something you can do, but they're actually tricking you in the game. So I think that's actually kind of cool. Again, here's a close-up look at the cabin in the woods, and you've actually got your 3 multi-balls locked here. And once they're ready to release, this swing here will swing out of the way, and the balls will drop down here for your multi-ball play. Of course, it wouldn't be Evil Dead without Ash's severed hand taunting you. And here it is here going back and forth, and at different times you can hit the hand here. I think there's actually even some different things that happen if you hit the hole behind it at certain times. So yeah, pretty cool. Here's a look at the evil Linda head. Now, at times in the game, this will rotate from good to evil. So depending on where this is set, if it's good Linda, she'll actually help you throughout the game. If it's evil Linda, she'll actually work against you throughout the game. So that is something that, you want to look out for when you're playing. Close-up look at the lower playfield, the basement. Again, this is a very small lower playfield. It's just a very tight little spot to just try to kind of bounce the ball around and do different things here when it drops down to here. Of course, you got to have Ash's iconic sawed-off shotgun, his boomstick, and these will actually pop out, and then you bash them to pop them in and light this up. And I think once you light up both of these, that might be when it activates the 2-lane shooter, so you can shoot the 2 balls at one time. Now, to go along with this machine, they've created this insane topper here. This has actually been created by a special effects artist who's been known for working on movies like Hellraiser and things like that. Forget the guy's name. It is in one of the videos. But this actually moves. The cellar door moves up and down. The different lights light up. This is not something that comes standard with the game. This is actually something that you can buy as an add-on. I do believe there is a simple topper that is made to look like Cheryl coming up out of the cellar, but it's not going to be the fully 3D motion one like this, but it is something that you'll be able to add on. And one of the things they said is this is actually available to purchase with the game now. This is not something that they have coming later. This is if you decide to buy this thing, you can actually decide to buy the topper right along with it day one when you purchase it. Another quick look at some of the bash toys. You've got the 2 deadites on the side here that pop up. You've got the cellar door that opens up with Cheryl here. Said you can bash this, or this can drop down with the cellar door still open, and that's how you can drop it down into the lower playfield. And of course, you've got the boomstick in the background here. Of course, after talking about that topper, I just had to show it to you in action. This is a video of the topper. You can see, just look at the detail on that thing. This thing is spooky AF. If you saw this thing in an arcade, this would probably scare the crap out of you. And of course, one of the main things about this is the fact that it moves. Look at that. The thing pops up and down. It's got different lighting underneath and whatever. Oh my God, just insane. Probably one of the wildest toppers I've ever seen for a pinball machine. Well, Spooky have opened up the pre-orders for this machine, the Evil Dead Collector's Edition, with an initial payment of $2,000. That's right. If you wanted to get this thing, you've got to put down $2,000 with the remainder due, I guess, once it ships. Now, this does retail for $10,000. Now, unlike Stern, when Stern puts out a pinball machine, they normally have like 3 different versions. They have a limited, a premium, and a pro, all at different price ranges. The Spooky Pinball, it's just the one, the collector's edition at the 10 grand. So it's right about mid-tier if you're comparing it to, say, a Stern, right about where a premium would be in terms of pricing. Of course, it's up to you to decide. Obviously, if this is, a theme that you're interested in, and if all the features on there are enough to warrant a $10,000 price. But this is available. You could actually purchase this now, like I said, $2,000 down, and then the remainder once it's shipped to you. So as I said, that 3D motorized topper is an additional option that you can add on to this when you purchase it. You can see it here. The initial payment on this is going to be $400. The full price on it is $1,400. So it's going to cost you an additional $1,000, again, once this ships out as well. So if that was something you wanted to add on to this, you got to figure another $1,400. So you're looking at about $11,400 for this in total with that topper on it. But there you have it. That is a first look at Spooky Pinball's brand new machine based on the Evil Dead franchise. Now, I am a fan of Evil Dead. I've always been more of a fan of the third movie, Army of Darkness. I know, the horror guys probably don't like that one as much because it's more of a action horror comedy kind of a movie than the other ones were. But I do also really like the second one. Again, some of the comedy in it I think was fantastic in that movie as well. Just such an iconic, but it's such an iconic franchise. I know everybody loves Evil Dead. If you're a horror fan, you gotta love Evil Dead. You gotta love Bruce Campbell as Ash. Such a classic, iconic character. And again, just big shout out to Spooky for getting him to come in to record additional dialogue for this machine. It would not be the same if it didn't have his voice in it. Now, said it before, I'll say it again. I'm not in the market for a $10,000 pinball machine, but I got to tell you, if I went to an arcade and I saw this one, I would absolutely want to play it for sure. It just looks like it's going to be a ton of fun. So that's why I'm putting this out there. I think it looks like a really cool machine. For those of you who are pinball collectors who have this kind of money to spend on these pinball machines, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you a fan of the Evil Dead franchise? And if so, does this look like a machine you would be interested in purchasing? Or at the very least, like I said, if you're like me, you're not a pinball collector, but you like to play these games. If you saw this in an arcade, is this one you would say, yeah, I got to check that out. I got to play this one for sure. Or would you skip over that for some other pinball machine? Let me know in the comments below. That's going to do it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave me a thumbs up. Leave me some comments below. Of course, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and do that as well. And if you want to support the channel even further, you could consider purchasing a membership. But that's all for now. Take care and happy gaming.